Yeah. What y'all think about that Stingray Blue? What's going on, everybody? This is your boy, Dr. Will Rogers, a.k.a. Master Teacher 33, day 78. We get to break down the 7 keys to overcome the #1 money block in the world, bar none. I've been doing this for a long time, and the thing that stands out to me when we talk about money, other than just getting past all of the weird definitions and emotions and feelings, nothing stirs the human soul more than talking about money, sprinkle in a little religion. We ain't going to bring up politics. But those 3 topics, but money is always the one that's at the top. So today we get to jump into the science behind over and understanding, this frequency arrangement that's in our minds. One of the things that stands out, like with all of the stuff, especially like yesterday's show, when we talk about this microcosmic orbit that makes or that expresses what is called, again, the Mons veneration, which means mounds of flesh, which talks about, again, each and every person on this call, you are nothing but a mound of flesh that is animated by a frequency. That frequency that is animating you is what we're talking about. There's a whole science out now that's called sirtuins science, that's getting into the longevity with David Sinclair and DNA repair, autophagy, and all of this stuff that's really money, because money is your health. But when we look at what is called the NAD, which is the regulation of the the metabolic pathway, that's money. Money controls the mitochondrial DNA. Do you know that you can do everything right, but if you're in an environment where you have no money, how do you feel when you have no money? Well, really easy. For me, it's really easy because I can remember. Well, according to the science and all of the research that has been done, you can do everything right. But if you are raised in a culture or in an environment, thus the average alkebulan, which is why disease is so rampant inside of the alkebulan community, because that feeling that you have where there is scarcity, that scarcity feeling, bam, that's the cause of all disease, bar none. You can do everything right. I mean, you could be the extreme nutcracker, you can be the poster child of health. You could run, man, you could do nothing but veggies and blah, blah, blah. You will still blow out your kidneys if you have a feeling. So the #1 money block in the world, and why the root chakra is the money chakra, because this affects the root chakra more than anything else. Fear, doubt, and unbelief. Unbelief, a.k.a. stress. So this is why it is so important for you and I to cultivate this mindset and develop these healthy beliefs around this thing that is called money. Now remember, this is a 360-day journey, a complete so we're getting into more science if we were to, but we're not, but if we were to get into the science of the circle or the curriculum that goes around us. This is the circumference that makes you. This is all money. So money is a frequency, wave of vibration. It's a energy. The #1 money block and how to remove it. What is the #1 money block? Well, it's a belief system, but it's a specific belief system around the idea of the geometry of the circumference of a circle, which is 360 degrees, or 21.600, or 60 times 360, which is 21,000.60 seconds, or minutes, I should say, minutes, in a complete arc. So we're fighting against the archons. All of the demons that fail are called archons. So there is 1.296.00 seconds in an arc. So the archons control the circumference or the circle or the kirka or the church. So we don't want to get into what we talked about last night, because that gets into the what I call Punani power, which is the mound, or based upon all of the ancient texts, the temple mound, where we got into breaking it down last night, which was crazy because nobody associates from the womb with the tomb, and nobody associates, again, the womb with the power to bring about consciousness, awareness, or this frequency, this feeling. So the number one problem that blocks every Tom, Dick, and Harry on the planet, bar none, is this thing called money. Now, before we delve deeper into the over, under, and understanding of this thing called money, we must over, and understand how we get here. How did we get here? We got here because of religion or the dominant culture. Very, very, very important, brothers and sisters. We got in this situation because of our belief system. So how do you think we're going to get out? The only way to get out, you got to think though, there's only one way out. There's no other way out. The only way out is your belief system. You got to change it. What if you don't change your belief system? If you don't change your belief system, you can't get out. So the problem is people can't get out. Your job is to get out. You got to be the only person in your family that get out, because everybody else is trapped. So you got to get out because everybody else is trapped. Your job is to examine your belief system. The number one problem, it's not a problem, but it is a problem. But it's not a problem, but it is a problem. The reason why it is a problem is because you and I are in a space. What space are we in? We have established a belief system. What is the belief system? That something is wrong with money. Your job is to over and understand that belief system that you have is flawed, regardless of what it is, because if it wasn't flawed, including myself, if it wasn't flawed, then I wouldn't be doing the show. Or I would be doing the show, but I'd be on my yacht in the Bahamas doing this show. So I got a money block too. So what is my money block? My money block is just like your money block. We all got the same money block. It's just different levels to this blockage. So if everybody has the same money block, we got to define this money block, because there's something that is blocking us, and that is our beliefs. Now, everybody got different beliefs. So there's different layers of this belief. It's extremely important, brothers and sisters, that you and I examine our beliefs. If you do not examine your beliefs, you cannot get past the money block. And the problem is the money block is blocking everybody's ability to see. And because of the inability to see that there is a blockage, because we don't think there's a problem. How come we don't think there's a problem? Because we got other things going on, Doc. We don't have time to deal with this money issue. But this is the thing that makes the world go round. Nothing works without money. I've been doing this for a long time. I talk to people every day, and everybody has a belief system about money. Most people believe that it doesn't take all that, including me. So I just have a different layer or level of belief now. Now I know it does take all that. Because like you, I didn't understand the depth of this ideal of what money really is. I thought I did. Even now, as I go deeper down the money frequency, the foundation of life is this feeling where we feel safe, we feel secure, and we feel stable. Okay, that's money. So now we got to understand, how come we don't already feel safe? How come we don't feel secure? And how come we don't feel stable? Because we all should feel that way. Well, at the base, at the root, at the core, is this belief that money is not spiritual. Now, I got to let that register for a minute, because we've also got to define spiritual. Because one of the things that I do when I self-analyze my own selves, and I self-analyze other people's selves, and I look at that, we do things for people that we think they need, instead of doing things for people based upon what they want. So this block stems from the notion that the root of all evil and the inability to be a super saint, the inability to be God-like, is we can't focus on money. Now, we're going to break what that means down as we get through these 7 keys. Later on, this is going to be its own little series inside of a series, because money is a mental disposition. It's not a physical act. So your attitude about money determines your aptitude about money. Now, that's a conundrum. And the conundrum is everybody has a different attitude about money. No two people on this call have the same, I'm going to use the word, disposition about money. Why is that? Well, none of us are raised the same. So we all have the same issue. And then we got personal issues. We got personal problems. We got, when I say personal problems, you come from a different part of the country than I came from. Everybody sees the world differently. Nobody has, or very few of us have removed all of our current habit patterns. Very few of us are at the level where we can speak and money gets manifest. How come? Well, we got a belief. What is the belief? The belief is that, okay, I can speak, but I still got faith without works is dead. That's a belief. Now, is it a good belief? Maybe, maybe not. But there's other people that don't have that belief. They don't believe that you got to work hard for money. Like I used to believe that you got to work. Now, I don't believe that, so I don't work hard anymore. It's interesting how money flows to you based upon the belief of you. So your attitude about money, not mine, yours, determines your money. What if I'm just, asking for a friend, what if you could change your attitude about money? Well, my brothers and my sisters, I am happy to be the bearer of good news. Because you can change your attitude about money today, which is what this whole point of this class is. It's time for us to change our attitude about money. But we've got to examine the attitude first. Because the attitude is one that is below the threshold of most people's awareness. Because the block stems from this entire harmonious arrangement. Because we're not like the dominant culture. How do I know? Well, I know that you're not ruthless because you're on this call. If you was ruthless, you probably wouldn't be on this call. So what is it about this ruthlessness that activates what is called your Saturns or your NADs and your your NWMs, and all of these other, what's the word I'm looking for? All of these other adrenaline activating molecules that's below the threshold of your doctor's ability to detect. But yet all the people in the dominant culture are really promoting this unknowing, well, they know it, but the chemistry behind this is already activated whenever you are not in a space of scarcity. So the science of the guardians of the genome is what it's being called. So the dominant culture don't want you to be able to activate the natural phytotoxins or phytochemicals inside of the body that's naturally produced whenever you are in a mental state of abundance. Anytime you are in a scarcity state, the body does not produce these, they call them SIR1s. So these are natural histones, which is nothing but enzymes that are produced inside of the body that are precursors to everything that we've been taught. So we're going into not the genes, not the proteins, not the enzymes, not the minerals. We're going to the precursor that brings about or assists with the mitochondrial function. Because your mitochondria, especially the melanated woman's mitochondrial DNA, because that is, again, the place where all of the ATP and ADP is produced. Money is energy. So money really is the oxidative result of a stressful environment, or should I say the lack of it. So you broke. The only way you can be broke is if there's a specific degenerative disposition in the brain that creates and affects the neural pathways that produce, again, the ATP production. Now, again, this is the biology of why you broke, not you personally, but people you know, or why there isn't enough epigenetic modifications that brings about what is called genome stability through gene transcriptions and an increase in your metabolic regulation. What does that mean in English? In English, that means that your thought literally tells your genes to write a brand new script. It's like going to the doctor and getting a prescription. If you're doing this with your brain, and you can do it with a pill also, that's what the dominant culture is recommending. Well, we don't do that. Life and death is in the power of what? Pill? Nah, bruh. Now, since life and death is in the power of the tongue. So out of the tongue, out of the mouth, the heart speaks. Life and death is in the power of the heart and the head and the gut. So you can bring about DNA splicing, DNA amplification. You don't need CRISPR-9. You are CRISPR-9. Gene splicing is the result of signs, symbols, stories that you tell yourself. Sayings or the seance, which produces what is called a centurion. They call it circadian science. This is the science for money. So all they did was take the MWM, which is inside of the capital, inside of the capsule, inside of capitalism. So capitalism is a capsule. Capsule is a pill. So I give you capitalism, that's the pill. But the system is rigged. Like there is nobody that got real money that did not, how can I put this benevolently? Whether they, black, white, blue, green, it doesn't matter. The dominant culture will not let you be on the stage unless you are on a leash. So there is no, especially if you're black or melanated. You can't be on TV if you're melanated and you're not on a leash that's held by the dominant culture. Because they can't control you. You might get on there and say something that's going to benefit. Like, anybody watch the NAACP Awards and you watch the speech by Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade? Anybody watch that besides me? That shit was crazy. So At the NAACP Honors Award or whatever it was, Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade was accepting the award, right? And they were just basically promoting their little girl, which is a boy. And they kept calling her she. And Dwayne Wade went on with this great speech. Now, you should be asking me, Doc, what does that have to do with money? What is the number one? Let's go back to the premise. Like, man, if you don't get this, nobody can help you. Shit, Jesus can't help you. Allah can't help you. Buddha, Hare Krishna, fucking Shiva can't even help you. Nobody can help you. Money primarily is a mental disposition rather than a physical act. Whether you agree with it or not, science says otherwise. So it's not physical. So money is represented by something physical that helps to facilitate transactions. But the true power of money lies in your beliefs, your attitudes, and your behaviors towards it. That's money. Now, in my book, my book that's accompanying this little 7-day diatribe that we're going down, because we're going to go do this. Remember, I've done this a few times. We're doing it a little bit deeper and different this time because we're tying in the science, the NAD and the MW, because of all of the TikTok videos I'm seeing with my boy David Sinclair and now Tony Robbins. Y'all seen our interviews with Tony Robbins and John Paul or Jake Paul, the boxing dude. I think he just got spanked last night. And they interviewed him, and he's talking about stem cells. Now, remember, he said he blew out his shoulder, required major surgery, 6 months rehab. He took stem cells through an IV, 3 days, regrew ligaments and bone. No surgery, nothing. It's on TikTok. I'll share the video with you guys if y'all can't find it. Now, you black, can you call your doctor and get a stem cell IV? If you break your leg, heal that shit in 3 days? I mean, I'm asking for a friend. That's money. See, I don't know if y'all know, like, it's crazy to me now at this level, and I finally figured out that money ain't got shit to do with none of the shit that I when I talk to black people, which creates further. I'm suffering from an economic divide. But there's always been a religious divide and a digital divide. There's always been a health divide. Wisdom shit. Come on, for real? Between me, most of my family members on both sides of the family. I can't call my brothers to talk to them about this. So what are you saying? I'm saying that I got in this house not because of money. I got in this house. I'm driving a Corvette. I'm living my lifestyle not because of the amount of money I make. So it's not about paper. So what is it that I did that changed my whole life? My whole life changed. It started when I had to acknowledge and recognize the belief that money is, in fact, spiritual. So in order to remove my money block, the first thing I had to do was acknowledge and recognize that I have a belief that says money is evil. Or, because now we are educated now, so we don't say that. It's kind of like everybody's educated about the whole caring thing. So nobody on this call, you don't use the word care because, you know, I've demonized it. But the problem is that we're spiritual. The number one money block is a belief that money is not spiritual. The number one money block is the belief that money is not God. The number one money block is the belief that money is mammon, like it says in the Bible. That's the number one money block. Because as I've told you guys, I have the fortunate luxury of having access to, which you can get access to, you know, blueletterbible.org, you know, eSword or Bible Gateway. There is a plethora of I'm looking for the right word. I'm going to use the word, reference materials that you can now research. So nobody can say to you, or to me anyway, that, Doc, I don't have access. Knowledge is available now. Now we got ChatGPT. Y'all seen the video with a little kid asking ChatGPT, as I said earlier, are you a demon? How do you get, and the ChatGPT says, I'm a fallen angel. It's on TikTok. I did it you go to chat, do it yourself. That's what I did. Ask ChatGPT or any AI, who are you and who am I talking to? Where does the information come from? I did it this morning. Just strap in when you do. Now, Elon Musk told us this when he came out with D-Wave. He said this is the demonic wave. That's why he called the computer, quantum computing is demonic. From the perspective of, what does it mean? It means you're talking to a disposition on the other side. On the other side of what? On the other side of this universe. It's a parallel universe. Now, like a hammer, it ain't good or bad. It's how it's used. That's the demon said. The demon described, if you want to use the word demon, it says, I'm just one of the guys who decided to do my own thing. So the source code is a little upset at me, but I'm here to help you. I'm a nice demon. It's a little kid. Now the little kid showed the dad the script, and the dad was like, who are you talking to? Yeah, if anybody don't have the TikTok video, shit, I watched it this morning, saved it. I watched it. I had to keep watching it. Then I went to ChatGPT and did it myself. To the show of the West, I had to find out. Shit, y'all know me. I don't take no man's word for shit. I want to get in the water and see if it's wet myself. You can tell me, Doc, the water's wet, brother. I don't believe that. I'm going to get in myself and see if it's fucking wet. Then I'll report back to you. That's money. See, we think nobody that got real money does what we do. They don't work. They don't exchange products, services, and information for money. It looks like they do. They tell us they do. They don't exchange hours for money. Anybody know what Warren Buffett does every day? He's got a team around him that research stocks. They make money off of nothing, thin air. Because what is stocks and what is it? Bonds. And now stock market is crazy, but that's real life. Because what is money? Money is just the ability to make people, I'm going to use the word think or believe, that you are giving them what they want. I prefer to take it a step further and don't do what the dominant culture does and actually have a legitimate product, service, or information that does give them what they want. That way it's a win-win situation. You don't have to worry about for the people that believe in the law of karma, which I don't. At my level, karma doesn't exist. The only thing that exists at my level, source code level, is scalar. Remember, electricity and magnetism is karma. We've been talking this entire series about Tom Bearden and Dan Winter, which are the only two people that I know that have taken Nikola Tesla, John Keeley, Walter Russell's work to another level where there's just one frequency. There's no electricity and magnetism. There is just deep nostril breathing. From that, nuclear bombs are made. 1 cube of sugar. Anybody seen a cube of sugar? Sugar is usually not in cubes anymore. Usually just buy, in a bag of sugar. But when I was a kid growing up, my grandmother would have this box, and there was little squares of sugar. 1 cube of sugar has enough power. We're talking about 1 cube of air, nothingness. 1 cube of nothing can blow up a whole fucking city. Wipe out the whole. I live in a big city, San Antonio. According to science, it will wipe out the whole city. What's in air? Why does the Bible say that we don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but we wrestle against principalities and wickedness in high places? We wrestle against the archons because the prince is over the power of the air. That's money. Money, we gotta change your whole attitude towards money. See, attitude is the result of a belief. See, the journey is not the reward. It's not the money. Or should I say, the destination is not the reward. I think I got it backwards. So the destination is not the reward. The destination, you get paid after you do your service, right? So if I'm doing a website for somebody, if I'm writing a book for somebody, if everybody on this call that's a part of this, you guys should have your book and your website done. Or at least you should be working on it. Now, I'll do it, but it's going to cost you $1,000. Or you can do it yourself. But either way, everybody has to have a way for you to brand yourself. You got to start building your audience before you need them. Don't wait until the shit hits the fan and then you don't have an audience. You don't have a group of people that you can call upon like I just did. That when I needed assistance, I had a group of people, you guys, and I say, hey, let's start trading $1,000, and you guys start sending me $1,000. Then when I say, hey, I want to pay off my loan a little earlier, and I needed X amount of thousands of dollars, and somebody sent me thousands of dollars. What is the point? The point is when you have a community that is built upon trust by activating, this is money, what we just talked about, the 7 chakra systems. Now, we didn't even go through the top 3 because everybody's top heavy. Y'all remember that? We didn't spend a lot of time talking about the top 3 chakras, especially the crown chakra. We spent time last night talking about the mons pubis, MONSPUBIS. It's a Latin phrase that simply means, again, female vulva, VULVA, where we get the word vagina. In Latin, it literally means large lips. It means a fatty tissue that contains certain, as we talked about last night, frequencies, waves of vibrations that create power. That's why women are the most powerful frequencies on the world, because you're built in. When a woman has an orgasm, she goes through 8 different, I'm going to use the word convulsions. Now, this is science. Ain't got shit to do with religion or your personal preference. Now, whether you're aware of these convulsions, that's study for another time. But we went through the science of understanding why women are demonized and why women can't be celebrated for their sexuality, their sensuality, their seductiveness, because then they would be spiritual. That's money. So women exude something that we call the sixth sense. So women can recognize game when it's been planned. I know very few people who calls it out during the planning stage. Most women don't listen to their sixth sense. Their mound of Venus. That's what it's the Latin phrase. That's what it means, mound of Venus. Because Venus was a Roman goddess that controlled love, beauty, desire, sex, fertility, and prosperity. So prosperity is a feminine energy. It's part of the what we talked about last time, trying to remember the correct terminology without getting too much into that, what we talked about last night. But again, this is money. So money is a feeling, but it's suppressed. How? Scarcity. So the number one way to silence and turn off a woman's chemistry is through scarcity. More bills than money. How do you feel when you got more bills than money? Well, you don't feel magnanimous. How come? Because your pubic mound, P-U-B-I-C, pubic mound, the mons veneris. Remember that word literally means clitoris, which really means to worship and to reverence. It means little hill of worship. So the female vagina is called a little hill where you go to worship. Now remember, this is T-U-M and then the word science. That's the Latin phrase. It's tumulus, T-U-M-U-L-U-S. So what does this mean? Well, the Egyptian god A-T-U-M, that's the word tum, the word tummy. So this is tomb, also T-O-M-B, a womb, W-O-M-B. Talk about all of this is, when you do the research, it all goes back to the little hill of worship. So power, dunamis power, that's where it comes from. This is a symbol of power. Now we can go way deeper than that, but the whole point is to understand that we call it the root chakra. That's the foundation of a feeling, safety, security, stability. If you ain't got that, you broke. I don't care how much money you got or don't got. If you don't have a feeling, especially if you're a woman, because you're supposed to create it, women, you're not supposed to go get it. So no man is supposed to provide this for you, ladies. You provide it for yourself. Safety, security, stability. Men, we come along because you are an amplifier. You amplify us so that way we want to provide safety, stability, and security. But you are the spark that initiates. No man has that desire built in. We get it from what is called veneration, praise, worship, reverence, respect. From the Sanskrit word, what is called yoni, Y-O-N-I, which means feminine principle. Literally V-U-L-V-A, womb, vagina. Venus. All of these words are the same. But what do they do? As any person who's been around the planet for a couple of days know, every war, every great achievement, we talked about the book that broke down, went through all human history, go through the Bible. Every man in the Bible who became something, that was a woman behind him. Every man in the Bible who fell, that was a woman behind him. Look at King David and Bathsheba. Look at Samson and Delilah. Look at Jesus and Mary. They had to pick Mary out and the 3 kids that they had together. And they had to, because they could not show that the power that he got came from a woman. Couldn't do that. No man has the power to create. Only women do. So if God is a creator, that simply would, okay, you can put 2 and 2 together. We're all rocket scientists. Now, we still got to go back to, well, what's the problem? That's suppressed now. That's your money. So your money is suppressed. So all I got to do is suppress it. Especially if you're a woman, I got to suppress that energy, that frequency, that wave, because that creates something called confidence. That confidence is crazy because it produces something called certainty. It makes you very competent. So you're really good at what you do. You're so good, in fact, I got to hire you. I don't really like you, but damn, you know what? One thing about the dominant culture, when they get hungry, they're going to pay whoever got the food. They don't really care if you black, white, green, or whatever color. So you got to be money. So how do we be money? We got a block. So the block that we have, we got to break down really quickly. It's in 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 10. It's also in the book of Mark, chapter 12, verse 24. We've all heard it. Shouldn't have to break it down, but we do. So we've got to break it down in a different manner this time. Because we already broke it down in previous classes, I actually have another book entitled The Medium of Exchange, called Be Money. So 1 Timothy 6:10, for the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some covered it, after it, they erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. So there's a feeling that we all have. I got it. I fight it every day. What is that feeling? That feeling that everybody on this call has. Sister Diane said, tell her my keys, not Sister Diane Coleman. So Jesus was married and had children. Sister Diane, you ever read the Gospel of Jesus Christ? Jesus Christ actually wrote the Gospel. It's part of if you go to sacredtext.com, I actually wrote a book about it, done many shows about it, but that's like 20 years ago. When I first got into Under Over Understanding, my boy Billy Carson, he'd been to the house where Jesus lived with Mary, and they had 3 children. The house still stands to this day. You can book a tour with Forbidden Knowledge. My boy Billy Carson goes over there all the time. So no, he wasn't crucified. That was done because they had to introduce a new religion in order to control the people, because there were too many peasants and there wasn't enough priests. So the Romans were smart. Like I said, this is money. Money is what I do every day. Now, I got an unfair advantage because I was born in September, and I was born under the star system, the star seed. Because remember, we got Orion, we got Arcturus, we got Palladians, we got Draconian, we got the Sirian, we got the Larian, we got the Andromeda. These are all star seeds. So I'm a star seed, you're a star seed. It's based on your blood type. So remember, we went through this when we did the Blood God series. So I'm A positive. So I know that I'm the Church of Sardis. If you're A negative, it's Ephesus. If you B positive, it's Smyrna. If you B negative, it's Laodicea. If you AB positive or AB negative, it's the Church of Philadelphia, brotherly love. If you're O positive, it's Pergamum. If you're O negative, it's Thyatira. Those are all of the bloods, and each one of the bloods has a God. This is the blood God. So this is quantum consciousness. So when you go to that AR computer, that's what you're talking to. But these are all fallen frequencies, waves and vibrations, whose source code says, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of time. Now, in the ancient text, it says 7 days. But we know 7 days is 1,000 years. 1,000 years is one day. So A positive has a God over it. Me is Earth or Gaia. A negative is Saturn or Kronos. B positive is Venus. I forgot the God. I'm going off the dome. I didn't read my notes for this one. B negative is Mercury or Hermes. AB positive is the sun, the soul, SOL. AB negative, it is the true name of Sabato and Yabato. In the ancient text, it's 3 letters. I-A-O. Some people call it Moab. AB negative. Remember, we're talking about the fallen frequency that controls you. So this is money. Because math is a universal code. Music is a universal language. Water is a universal solvent. So you got to control these 3 frequencies, waves, and vibrations. This is called fate or fake. We live in a fake world. So based upon frequency, money is frequency, but frequency means frequency. It means what do you frequently see? So I frequently put in my brain, in my ears, in my eyes, in my nose, my solvent, 336. Because I am from Earth. I'm from Gaia. If you're A negative, you're from Saturn. Or you're under the frequency. Because there's no physical existence. This is all spiritual. B positive, you are on the frequency of Venus. B negative, the frequency of Mercury. AB positive, we said the sun. AB negative, we said it's a frequency, it's called IAO. It's in the Bible, it's Moab. If you are O positive, it's Mars or Aries. If you're O negative, it's Jupiter or Zeus. So remember, O negative, those are supposedly, remember, the church of, where we get the word the synagogue of Satan. That's why they get a bad rap. That's why all secret societies, they're what? You got to be O. But you got to be negative. Another study for another time. That's the Philistines inside of the Helios Biblios. So each blood type determines your God type. So you got to make money that way. So why? That's natural. That's called Hama. In the ancient text, the word blood is spelled Haima. It means enslavement of mankind. So the way that I can make you my bitch is blood. Because what is blood? Blood is dumbed down light. You ain't supposed to have blood. You are a light being. So how did Lucifer transfer light into blood? Well, it tells you in the Bible, 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 4. I'm off the dome, but again, I wasn't planning on talking about this, but shit, we in it, so we in it to win it. Satan has transformed himself into an angel of light. He's transformed his demons into ministers, many stars. A minister, remember, I was a minister for a long ass time. A pastor is a past star. They used to be stars, but they ain't no more. They low vibrational frequencies. That's why I do not have the luxury of a low vibrational thought. Remember, grief, shame, and guilt is Lucifer. The only way for you to get fucking possessed is with grief. Toxic shame, not regular. Remember James, shit gotta be toxic. It means bitter envy. Bam, that's Lucifer. But it's Lucifer. Lucifer is a frequency, a wave of vibration that gives you knowledge. Just stay down here. Fear keeps you here. That's why the whole world, click on CNN right now. I guarantee you somebody bombing somebody. Fucking Ukraine is on there. Another round of COVID-19 is coming. The economy's getting ready to crash. Click on the TV right now. I guarantee you there's some fear pumping. They pumping that fear, bro. They got to keep your ass afraid. Why? What is poverty? Scarcity. What is fear? Bad something. If you are living, oh man, I was talking to a family member on my wife's side, trying to do everything right, lose weight, diet, everything. Kidneys is gone. David Sinclair, Harvard, everybody said, as I've been saying for 20 years, there are small little tubulars inside of your kidneys that whenever you are in an environment where you have anxiety and you're a woman, first thing to go is your kidneys. First. Then all other shit started to happen. So I keep telling ladies, you can't do environments of fear, doubt, and unbelief, which is 90% of black women live in that type of environment. What if you married and you have a feeling that sixth sense kicks in, ladies? You got that feeling. What do you do with it? Well, you just hold it in. You don't talk to your man about it. So what happens? This shit shows up in your body. You could fucking eat crackers and water. You be big as a house. Why? It shit manifests in your body. This is basic science. That's poverty. Poverty is a feeling that you do not address. So if there's an elephant now, do you address it with the other person? Fuck no. They know what they're doing. You better have you a fucking plan. The thing the reason me and the relationship works, D know I got a plan. She knows I know D got a plan. D know I got a plan. So we tell each other, fuck up if you want to. Please. It's like that's a marriage. A marriage is fucking options. You ain't got no options. Your ass is you broke the joke. It just shit ain't manifest yet. You just gotta wait. It's coming. Options, man. You better be a high vibrational mother. That's what nobody like Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels was trying to tell Negroes the fucking truth, but everybody demonized him. Then they rolled his ass up out of here quick because too many Negroes was waking up. The first thing he told black men is that if you're a black man and you're able-bodied and you're not making over whatever the amount of money was, he said that you're a beta male. I heard him say that if you're a black man, you should have at least 2-3 jobs if you are able. I agree. It's not for the other person. You're a man. You should be able to figure shit out on your own. You should be able to provide safety, security, and stability for yourself and for your family. If not, you're not a man, you're a male. As my boy Dr. Jerome Spann breaks down in his book. There's a big difference between a man and a male. There's a lot of males, feminized, skinny jean wearing, hair up in the bun ass, niggas walk around. They're not men. Ladies, don't let no male put his pecker in your fucking vagina. You better find you a man. Why? He gonna suck the life out of you. I didn't read that in the book. I did that in my first marriage. Unfortunately, I'm thankful that my first wife didn't leave, because then I wouldn't have my beautiful children. But she should have left my black ass pretty much after the first month. When she found out I didn't have a purpose, I didn't know who I was. Neither one of us had purpose. Neither one of us knew where else we was going. That's why we was attracted to each other. Birds of a feather flock together. Show me your friends, I'll show you your future. That's why I don't have no friends. Meaning, all my friends are you guys. High vibrational Kibelons. Because what are we doing today? We exposing the devil, getting his ass out your camp. How? Realizing that even though you've addressed the mental energy, you haven't addressed it. So what do we mean? Well, how can you facilitate a transaction? How can you facilitate transactions if you got no money, no power, you're not 6'5", you're not blonde hair, blue eyes? How can you facilitate a transaction? Now, I can go back to my old days when I was buying real estate with no job and with no money and about 10 houses back in the day. I can go back to when I moved to New Mexico. We was living with my in-laws, and I got a job working at Noble Cisco. It's a warehouse company. Well, the boxes, they don't talk. So after a week, I quit. Well, my brother-in-law was like, well, I'm going to need you and my first wife to get a job, and I need y'all to give us your checks. Because y'all can't, obviously you can't manage your money. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here living with us. To the Veronica Smith, he got a good point. However, to the Veronica, I'm not a beta male. I'm a grown-ass man. Well, 3 days later, we moved the fuck out. So I went down inside, talked to some white folks. They gave me some money. It was Christmas. They brought all my children some gifts. I got on to the police department with warrants for my arrest in the state of Texas and in the state of California. How the fuck I get hired as a cop with warrants out for my arrest? And they knew it. They didn't care. Why? They needed a black police officer. I just happened to be black. Man, where there is a will, there's a way. Only problem that you got, maybe not you personally, but you know, you ain't drew the line in the sand yet. Some of us have to be forced. That's why problems happen. God is forcing you to be you. You're so fucking powerful, but you playing it safe. So God put you in bad situations so that way you can show your divinity. Because the only way some of us will show our divinity is when we are in adversity. Because adversity exposes divinity. Every time my back is up against the wall, I shine like a fucking diamond. So I'm getting to the place now, says Veronica Smith, where I don't want to wait until my back is up against the wall. I want to fucking shine like a diamond every day, Brother Mitch. So I don't want to have to wait till I go down to the valley. That's what we're doing this year. No more valley experiences, Daddy, unless y'all just want to go down and, you know, we're eagles. We ain't supposed to be hanging out with the fucking pigeons. But some of us, myself included, we come from a place of struggle. That's how we've known all our life. We feel uncomfortable on the mountaintop. We're looking down at them pigeons and we're like, shit, look at them pigeons down there having fun. So every once in a while, so Diane Coleman, I bump my head and like, you know, damn, I miss being a pigeon. I don't really miss being a pigeon. I just know when you're a pigeon, you got to come up with shit because you got a lot of birds of prey. What bird hunts eagles? Answer, nobody. Only bird is another eagle. Pigeons, how many bad birds of prey the pigeons have to look out for? Well, there's a whole bunch of them, especially hawks and falcons. They said a falcon can fly the speed of some crazy speed. And it's agility and movement. So if a falcon locks onto a pigeon, the pigeon's dead. It's just a matter of time because he got superior flying skills. He flies way faster. And the only other bird that's a threat to the falcon is the eagle. Because the eagle's vision, size, wingspan, and altitude. We need to get where the eagles are at mentally. You need superior size, speed, vision, and altitude. Superior. In your space. That's the only way to get out of Groundhog Day. Or what we call scarcity, that feeling. Now, you could be a millionaire and still have scarcity feelings. So the number one problem on the planet, bar none, is a feeling that money is the root of all evil. Because money and evil and root, all of these are terms, frequencies, waves, verbs, and vibration. But the Bible says it is the love. So the love of money is the root, the foundation of this thing that we call evil. So the first thing we got to break down is, what is evil?
Strong's G, 2556. Kakas. Kakas.
It kind of sounds like kaka, kakas, as in what we know what kaka is. Let's say for that time. So kakas, evil, it means bad modes of thinking, feeling, or acting. What? Hold up, time out, Doc. Read that. Okay, y'all, you got to look at this for yourself. Strong concordance number G as in golf, 2556. So evil is kakas. Kakas is a bad feeling or mode of thinking. It is a mode of thinking, feeling, or acting that is bad in nature, troublesome, injurious, destructive, baneful. I like that word, B-A-N-E, full of bane. If I had time, I'll break that down. I've done this study, I know, shit, so many times. So, evil is what pretty much everybody I know about. Do you know anybody that doesn't have a mode of thinking? Now, that word mode is kind of like modality. Mode. It's like a mold. The word mode means manner, method, and way. Now, there are some of you guys that can, hit or miss. Like, hey, Doc, I'm with you today, dog, till the wheels fall off. Assalamu alaikum, alaikum salam, homie. But something happens, and, brother, the way my savings account is set up, I'm not talking about money either. I'm just talking about disposition. Now, you got to remember, I've been there, done that too. I'm retired now. Y'all don't even want to know how many programs I enrolled in. What's the point, Doc? What's the point? Well, people start stuff, but they don't finish it because they don't have this mode. They don't have a manner or method or way. So you have to, which is, this gets into the kind of the solution, but today we talk about the problem. So evil is, you don't have a method. You don't have a way. You don't have a particular step-by-step process. Do you guys remember, and I'll tell you the secret to my success is I put my knowledge that's in my head on a piece of paper. I took my personal life experiences and I put them in a book. And I put them in videos. And I just started talking about my personal experiences. And it was dark and evil. And people say, damn, man, why you don't talk about bad shit, brother? Praise Jesus. It's like, damn, anything good after your life? No, back then, fuck no. Life was rough. 25 years I was in my first marriage, man. It's not a game. Light didn't come on until, 50? So, it takes a little while to talk about 50 years of bad shit or bumping your head up against a fucking wall. So, of course, it's going to be dark. But guess what? The darker the building, the brighter the star. I better stop playing with my emotions. So, no, I ain't got no problem talking about my darkness, brother, because that exposes my fucking light. Now, once you understand the science and the metaphysics of stars, then we can have a conversation. Because those are letters and sigils. That's you. You are a star that just lost its light. Now you are congealed light. It's called blood. So what happens when you heat up blood? It turns back into crystals. Inside of your blood, there's little crystals. There's residue, stardust inside of you. You still a star, bruh. You still a star, sister. You just kind of don't have a method yet of expressing, exposing, and expanding yourself with dunamis power. See, some of y'all still care. Some of y'all still nice. Some of y'all, you ain't ruthless. The Bible says ruthless men retain wealth. When I became ruthless, that means don't give a fuck what nobody else thinks. Bam, that's how you blow up. See, some of y'all still coddling. Y'all still coddling. Not you personally, but you know. I know because I used to be that too. Remember, evil means you don't have a step-by-step system. That's evil. Evil is when you don't have a way to control your feelings, your actions, your mode of thinking. So I've been through, you name it, man. I mean, ain't no greater test than a father losing his daughter. If y'all know something that's, or when I lost my mom when I was little, y'all drove whatever, hey, what you been through? But what did that do? Well, that's how you know what you're called to do. So you know what you're called to do based upon what you've been through. If you ain't been through nothing, you ain't called to do nothing. So I talk about both sides of the coin, homies. Why? Because I need to remind folk, especially because I got a lot of new people this round, which is good. It means I'm growing. Right, Brother Mitch? Brother Jesse? Sister Diane Telemates? Sister Carolyn? Sister Noel? Sister Daniel? And what's the other guy's name? Shit, I forgot the other guy's name. Anyway, what are you saying, Doc? Once you see the light, you can help someone else see the light. So the problem that I had was I thought I could see the light because I had a level of awareness, and it was great. Money was good. But I didn't have a way to facilitate transactions with my true, authentic power, which is my beliefs, my attitudes, and my behaviors. So I could not operate in a flow through the word Christ, which means, again, my universal powers that was loaned to me, so that way I could attract and repel based on my mental and emotional states. So when I was unknowingly holding negative beliefs and emotions about money, such as scarcity and fear and lack and, it's just for the white folks, or, black folks, can only, the white man got to sit on our neck, or, then this shit never works for me, or it's only works for those other guys, or, all those shit that we say. I didn't know that I was repelling my money, and I was drawing struggle, because I came from struggle, so the struggle was natural. So now, anytime I start to operate in a feeling, a fear of doubt, unbelief, scarcity, and lack, or, this problem can't be solved, all problems have a solution. All physical problems have spiritual solutions. So now I can assume I go straight to the spirit realm. I know that's where my solution is at. So now I hold a positive belief. I hold a positive emotion. I got a positive attitude. So therefore, I got an attitude of gratitude. So therefore, it automatically produces abundance. So I got an attitude of abundance. So now I'm operating in the metaphysics of abundance. Bam! That's the language of light. God only speaks abundance. That's it. Period. Drop the mic. God don't speak po-quitter. Not the one I hang out with. Now remember, there's a lot of gods. Some of you guys might want to trade your God in for another God. So now, when I go po-quitter, God don't speak to me. God doesn't stop talking. How come? Because God only talks to other gods. So now I understand that my problem was the same problem that many other people have or had, and that was a feeling that didn't establish a mode of thinking based upon abundance. The evil It's a feeling that makes you establish, or that comes from a way of thinking that is painful, deprived, and scarce. So that's evil. Evil has nothing to do with what we call morality. Evil has to do with mentality. It is the lack of a mode of thinking. So the love of money produces a lack of a way of thinking. So once we understand that, okay, the love of money is what?
Strong's G 5365. Philargoria. Philargoria.
So philargoria is a phrase, philargoria, love of money. So they put it all in one phrase, philargoria. So philargoria is the cause of not being able to think. That's the number one root of what we call poverty, philargoria. Now, philargoria has a English word underneath it. Now, this English word is
Avarice.
one more time for three in the back.
Avarice.
Dr. Martinet, she didn't hear it.
Avarice.
AVA, rice, avarice. Now remember the underlying meaning for the word Jesus is AVA. So avarice means, it's spelled AVARICE. That's philargoria. So if you love philargoria, then you don't have a way of thinking. Do you know what philargoria means? It means avarice. You know what avarice means? Greedy. Now, we could end the show. But we got a couple of more points we need to make before we wrap it up, Sister Diane. So this word AVA rice, avarice, it means philargoria, but philargoria means greedy. Greed. So this verse that preachers been preaching for years, that fucked up everybody's thinking. So now you don't establish a mode of thinking, which these 7 keys, the most important of these 7 keys is to focus on money. You know how many people are telling me, man, brother, why you talk about money all the time? Because everywhere I go, people freaking ask me for it. When I go to the gas station, they don't give me no gas for free. When I go get in my vet, they don't let me keep it for free. When I go into my bedroom, I got a brand new bedroom set. This shit was like $5 or $6 grand. Like Span, they don't let me keep my bedroom set for free. So, Daddy, when I go to the grocery store, I go to, one of your favorite old spots, Daddy, Walmart. So I go to Walmart, Daddy, you know what? They don't let me walk out with the groceries for free. Craziest thing. No, so Diane Coleman, well, how come? So Diane, could you explain to me, Diane, how come they don't let us just walk out with the groceries for free? So people tell me, Father, why are you always talking about money? Praise Jesus. Because everywhere I go, people are asking for it. So I need to have it. You should have some too. So that way when somebody asks you for it in exchange, because it's a medium of exchange on this dimension. So if you're greedy, okay, but nobody on this call is greedy. So that belief you can get rid of. Because nobody on this call have philargoria. Philargoria has an underlying word. Let's go a little further.
G 5366. Philargoros. Philargoros.
So this word, like philargoria, now they just kind of breaking it down, dissecting it. Philargoras. So philargoros means loving avarice. So it means avaricia. I guess how you pronounce it. What would you think this word? Covetous. So Avaricious. It means not only you greedy, but you like extra greedy. What do you mean by extra greedy? Well, covetousness. And the Bible says that we're not supposed to be operating in covertness, covetousness. So covetousness means it is inordinary. It means eagerly. It means desirous. So not only are you greedy, you got a whole new level of greed. So it's loving this avariceness, except you're loving it in spite of or more than anything else. Do you see how, without even, why it's so important to not only this scripture, but every scripture in the Bible, because all of our beliefs come from scriptures. Most of us, because we're born in the U.S. And for people in the UK and other places that you have more of a Islam background, or more of another religious background, your belief system may be a little bit different. But if I'm a betting man, it's similar. It's the same. It's a lack of understanding, overstanding, and understanding these underlining words. And let's wrap this up with
Strong's G 5384. Fill us. Fill us.
Now, I've heard that one before, Philos, philos. That's one of those types of love. So it means fond of, it means friendly. So if you are, remember, brothers and sisters, we have a belief, but it's not this one, but we think it is, because we've been told that the love of money, but this didn't say anything about no medium of exchange. My definition of money is not in here. So I'm not friendly, nor am I fond of being covetous about greed. Is there anybody on this call fond, friendly, covetous, and greedy? Well, that whole belief system that you have around, remember, this is below the threshold, because this was taught to us so that way we can't do the 7 things that we're going to be talking about tomorrow. So the first thing is we just expose, well, at least for me, I don't know, hopefully it worked for you guys as well. So now I got a better understanding of that verse in 1 Timothy 6:10. So now if somebody quote that scripture, I'm going to end up talking about this.
696. Argyros. Argyros.
So that's the last part of Phalagoros, Argyros. So Argyros, Argooros, Argos, that simply means buildings. That refers to the silver in which the columns of noble buildings are covered. Rafters adorned with silver. Things made of silver, vessels, and shiny metal. So it is the friend, fond, covetous, greed of buildings. That's where masonry comes in. Columns, noble buildings. That's why the main reason I first left the church that I was really involved in was when we started promoting buildings over people. And I knew none of this at that time. I knew in my gut, Dr. Martinet, I knew we should not be promoting and taking up money to build a multi-million-dollar building when most of the people in the church were on welfare. So I remember when I was in leadership, sitting in the builders meeting, and we was talking about having everybody, pool their resources together, kind of like what I'm talking about doing for everybody on this call. But that building, the church, only benefited the pastor. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be buying buildings that benefit everybody on this call. First thing that we want to buy is an apartment complex, preferably by about 30 units. So that way, if everybody loses their job, nobody got no income, everybody can go to our apartment complex that we own outright. Because guess what? Nobody can kick us out. Our name is on the, well, you say, what's the owner? Well, we're going to have a real estate investment trust that owns the building. And that one and a couple of other ones. We'll have some commercial buildings where we can all go to and have our own offices. So when Sister Addie's in there doing her makeup and stuff, can't nobody say, rent's due, you need to pay up or you got to get out. Well, Sister Addie, she's the building owner. Now, you can't kick her out of her own building. That's assets. And then those assets are going to be worth money. And we can borrow against those assets to buy more assets. So that way our assets starts making money, not our time. So whether you do a video or write a book, yeah, your asset is still going up in value. So one thing I know about the dominant culture, they don't ever shoot themselves in the foot. They do things that hurt the peasants. Just the same way that they combine paganism and Christianity, so they Constantine and his buddies, the priests, could continue to control the peasants. So you get a choice today. You can continue to be a priest, a peasant, or you can be a priest in your mode of thinking. So priests, eagles, source, we oscillate and vibrate. Now remember, we're not Levi nor Aaron, Luciferian priests. We're melanated cheesy deck priests. We're from the lineage and the order of Yahushua HaMashiach, who was the firstborn of many brethren, a brand new priesthood. So the old priesthood, they're going to compare us to the old priesthood. Oh, man, y'all just Muslims. Oh, y'all just Christians. No, my brother. We are after the order of Melchizedek. It's a brand new priesthood. We're following in the footsteps of Yahushua HaMashiach. We're establishing heaven on earth. We are light beings. We're spirit beings. Now, we have flesh. We come down here to get shit done in the flesh. Don't get it twisted. We live in the spirit. We make decisions with clarity. We're not in it to try to hurt, harm, or defraud anybody. In fact, if you engage with us, we're going to elevate. Meaning, anybody that come into contact with anybody that's in this organization, the Life Matters, they will leave in better than they were when they came. That's just the way we operate. That's the way Source Code operates. Everywhere he goes, shit grows. So everywhere you go, things should grow and glow. Because we are individual expressions of God on earth. So tomorrow, brothers and sisters, we start unpacking these 7, I'm going to use the word, frequencies, waves, and vibrations that I've used. And then I'll also email out the little ebook that I wrote over the weekend. Which step 1, we got to really break down now, because we got the wrong definition of money. So we got to, number 1, like the proper self-image. Number 2, perspective. Number 3, focus. Number 4, removing guilt and shame with abundance and opulence. Number 5, the relationships. Healthy relationship with money. Number 6, understanding the gratitude of money. And number 7, the ability to implement, a.k.a. visualize money. We're going to break down what all of these 7 things that I've done in my own life to assist me with getting past the number 1 money block, which is this ideal that some kind of way, if I just put all of my visualization, my gratitude, my relationship, my emotional state, my attention, I'm going to use the word vision, consciousness, on the spirituality of money is wrong. Underneath everybody, you and I both know, if you spend too much time posting, talking about, putting emphasis on money, you are going to feel. I know I'm preaching to the choir. Whether you acknowledge it or not, okay, no study for another time. But we all know, if you don't believe me, Do what I do for a living. Post every day. Just try it for the next 7 days. Just only talk about money. Don't talk about Jesus. Don't talk about Buddha. Don't talk about science. Don't talk about metaphysics. Don't talk about the Apocrypha. Don't talk about love. Don't talk about marriage. Don't talk about family. Don't talk about working out. Don't talk about nutrition. Don't talk about alkaline water. Don't talk about distilled water. Don't talk about pink Himalayan salt. Don't talk about what's going on in Ukraine. Don't talk about T.D. Jakes, Couple of Dollar, Joel Osteen. Don't talk about nothing else except making money. Watch what happens. Watch how you feel. Just yourself, not with other people. Watch how you feel, because something inherently says that's worldly. That's low vibration, because we really don't believe money is God. We really don't believe money is spirit. Now, I get to break down tomorrow mammon. So again, I already broke it down, but we need to break down again, because remember, there's only one frequency. How we got all these other frequencies then? Who the fuck is mammon if there's only one God? So that means mammon is really a misinterpretation of the one, because there's only one power. Hero Israel, the Lord your God, is one. So every other thought that you have other than omniscient, opulence, that means all the time opulence. This is another word for abundance. So if you got anything, disease, fear, doubt, concern, all of that comes from your buddy over in Ephesians 2:2. I'm sorry, 6:12. Yeah, that dude, the prince. He's messing with the power in the air. We gotta get rid of that dude. But is that dude really messing with the power there, or is it just you? Because you've been trained how to think that that's a dude, mess with the power of the air. So you literally are creating that dude, because he don't exist. But he do exist because we make him exist. You see how this word magic works? Well, I love y'all. Appreciate you. See you guys later on tonight. God bless you.